What's up, rainbow heads? Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm excited to show you guys how I created this look, which is something that I actually created months and months ago. I actually filmed the whole process for this look, but somehow I just got brain fog and forgot that I was planning on doing a YouTube video with this whole thing, and I had like a stockpile of usable video on my iPhone ready to go, ready to become a tutorial. And yeah, somehow I just kind of like forgot that I was planning on doing that. You know, I had a client come in recently who is actually a nurse, and she asked me if I was experiencing any kind of like memory loss or like brain fog or anything since my surgeries back in October. And I was like, yeah, actually I am having some trouble with my memory and staying on track with like certain tasks. Apparently this is like a side effect of anesthesia, according to what she said. I mean, I had like 3 surgeries in the course of like 3 days, so I guess it did a number on my brain, and let me tell you, I did not need any more help in that department. But anyway, this look was a really cool one because I had some very unique challenges with my model Draven's hair at the very start of the process, as you can see right here. And I managed to create something that was really unique and different with her hair color that didn't involve bleaching her entire head of hair out. A lot of times when I see hair color tutorials, it seems like a lot of people, their kind of go-to process is to bleach the hair all the way to white anytime you're beginning a creative hair color. Even when that hair has already been processed with bleach before, maybe it was somebody who's already been getting creative color done and so their hair already has been processed and compromised. I see a lot of people bleaching over that or using color removers over that. In my opinion, a little bit excessively, because I feel like even if you're using a product like Olaplex or something kind of protective in your bleach, if you are processing hair over and over and over again, you're going to get damage no matter what. It doesn't matter what you use to protect the hair. It's just an inevitable thing. The hair only has so many bonds inside of it that you can break again and again and again before eventually it falls apart. I mean, that's just my personal preference. Everybody's clients are different, and some people are okay cutting their hair shorter if it means that they're going to get the color that they want. I just wanted to show kind of a different perspective, like something a little bit different with color, maybe something that you guys haven't seen before, just to kind of expand your mind and show you exactly what's possible with hair color when you think outside of the box. So basically this entire look is going to involve creating something cool without bleaching the entire head out. I'm only going to be bleaching isolated sections on the head and doing a really cool color design that's very unusual on those sections, as you guys will see. I think this is a great tutorial too for people who have like naturally darker hair that doesn't lighten to platinum very easily. And of course you don't have to use this tutorial exactly. It is creative color, so make it whatever you want it to be. Let this inspire you with the possibilities of hair color. Okay, I'm gonna stop blabbing now. Let's get started with the tutorial. So my model today is Draven, and she is my coworker. She's been a model in numerous looks that I've created, and most creative color looks end up being corrective color if you plan on changing it up a lot, and that's no exception for Draven's hair here today. It had been quite a while since the last time I did her hair, so girl has regrowth, girl has bands, girl has bleached ends. This is exactly what Guy Tang would refer to as a hair normal activity. I decided to address each of these issues one at a time. So I started by filling Draven's bleached ends with Redken Shades EQ 3R. I let that process for 20 minutes, toweled the product off her ends a bit, and then immediately applied Redken Shades EQ 1B. Because I'm combining a level 3 and a level 1, I'm going to end up with something close to a level 2. Without the step of filling this hair before going darker, the ends could have ended up super muddy looking, and as you can see, the color ended up blending in perfectly with that dark band in her hair. Now overall, this look would have been a lot easier on somebody with uncolored hair, but it's really rare to find someone these days with uncolored hair. Luckily, Draven had about 4 inches of regrowth, and I knew the regrowth would be the ideal area to add a color design because regrowth lightens much more easily than previously colored hair. So when I originally filmed this look, I still hadn't quite figured out what I wanted to do as far as formatting my videos for YouTube. So I didn't get quite the best shots of the sectioning. So I wanted to cut in here really quick and explain why I sectioned this off the way that I did. For this look, I wanted to create something that looked cool not only when the hair was down, but also gave a lot of options when the hair was pulled back in different types of styling. So basically what I did is I decided to do kind of like an asymmetrical look. I only did half of the head. I didn't do the sections on the other side of the head. I parted off a horseshoe shaped section on the top of my model's head. I also took this long triangle section right here, kind of like in front and above the ear, and you can see that triangle meets at the base of my horseshoe section right here in the crown. And then I have a piece in the middle here that gets left out. This piece got left out, as well as this piece in the front here. And then I had another long triangle section here. Trying to show you guys there. So I have another long triangle section right here, which also meets right there at that point. So basically where I decided to take these sections, what I did first was I pulled Draven's hair back into a ponytail to kind of figure out what position a ponytail looked best on her head. And then I kind of mapped out where I was going to put these from there. There's going to be some styling variation between when this hair is pulled back into an up style and also when it's pulled down. So all of these sections I just showed you guys that are pinned up here, those are the sections that get color. Everything else ends up getting colored dark, just a level 2 all over basically. I sectioned off the hair that I plan to foil later and colored the regrowth everywhere else using Redken Color Fusion 2N and 20 volume. I used mesh and balayage film between my sections to help keep things nice and neat and prevent any little oopsies on my sections in the ponytails. After the color finished processing, I rinsed and secured the now fully colored sections with ponytails and released the other sections from their ponytails. And now I'm ready to foil the uncolored sections. I used Redken Flash Lift Bonder Inside Bleach with 20 volume in my foils. For the foils, I took diagonal slices down the back section. I also took diagonal slices down the side section. And then I took horizontal slices across the top section. I mostly painted my bleach on the regrowth part of the hair because that's where I'm going to get the lightest result. And I hit that little bit of regrowth left out of the foil with the dark brown formula from my last step, the Redken 2N. So this shot here is always my favorite because this kind of banding looks scary AF to most hairstylists, but not me. I love bands. Bands look like possibilities to me. And with our canvas finally prepped, it is finally time for some fun hair color. So the color pattern for this look is one that I've used many times, including in my own bangs. It's inspired by a Spanish artist I follow on Instagram named Felipe Pantone. And if you guys have been looking at my studio, you might have peeped his print hanging up in the background here. So these colors will look a little familiar. You guys gave me some great feedback in my last video and let me know that the mixing process was a little long for your liking, so I'm not going to go into depth with formulas for this video. If you want to see the formulas, just check out my latest Instagram post regarding this look. I will have the formulas over there. For the back section, I took vertical slices, applying my pattern exactly the same on each and every section. I decided to apply these colors from the outside working towards the center, because I wanted to help keep from any colors bleeding over that lightest color in the middle. My color palette was dark red, red, dark blue, light blue, orange, yellow, light cyan blue, and light gray. You guys can see towards the bottom of the section there's an orange band where I pulled the bleach over the previous color on the ends. I had to do this in the bottom part of the sections to make sure the color could reach all the way to that ponytail point when I pulled the hair up. This is actually the reason why I decided to place my cool colors towards the top of my band and the warm colors at the bottom. The cool colors would have looked muddy over the orange band, whereas the warm colors are much less affected by it. I ain't scared of no bands. In my opinion, with creative color, a band is just an opportunity to think outside of the box. So get outside the box, get creative, stop bleaching hair to kingdom come, and start thinking of other ways you can use your bands in your color design instead of constantly fighting against them. With creative color, you can do whatever you want, so it doesn't matter if there are bands in the hair as long as you implement them, use your color theory, use your knowledge, and create something with the band implemented rather than destroying your hair. You guys can see that I am slicing through this section and laying down a piece of balayage film whenever I start running out of room in my band to fit all of my colors, and then I start a new section. For the side section, I did pretty much exactly the same thing that I did in the back section. As you guys have seen with these colors, a lot of the steps are extremely repetitious. It's just kind of about doing the same thing over and over and over again until you're finally done. Draven's hair is also beastly thick, so her hair took me a significant amount of time to get through. Definitely something that you want to bear in mind whenever you start a process like this is how thick somebody's hair is. Not only for your placement, but also to keep in mind how much time it's going to take you to get through it. Obviously, somebody with as much hair as Draven, it's going to take you a lot longer than somebody with thinner hair. So the top section of this look gets a little bit trickier. For the top, I wanted it to look like you could see stripes on the top of the head whenever the hair was pulled back. That went just straight across. And when it fell down, it was gonna give like a diagonal line going forward. Unfortunately, when I filmed this video months and months ago, I didn't get the best shot of applying the color to the top of the head because I had my phone mounted on a tripod and I am a dum-dum and my phone died. So I got like about halfway through the top and then my phone died and you can't see the whole color. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to explain a little bit more in detail, kind of break it down. Sometimes I feel like I can understand the hair like when it's in front of me, but then I go to explain it and I'm like, how do I make this actually make sense? So I'm gonna do my best and hopefully this makes sense to you guys. Basically, this is something that we in the hair world refer to as color blocking. Color blocking means the base of the section that you're taking is a different color from the section surrounding it. It's something that kind of stands out and gives contrast next to the sections that surround it. So this is just a very detailed form of color blocking. Imagine each one of these stripes that you're seeing at the top of the base here is its own color blocked section. I know that sounds a little convoluted and crazy, but I'm going to try to break it down for you, so stick with me here. So I'm going to be drawing alongside this video just to help give a little bit of a more clear visual aid on how exactly I place the top of this color. I wanted each line of color across the top of the head to be about 1/2 inch thick, but I couldn't just take 1/2 inch thick sections and color them in one go because there's no way I would have been able to fully saturate my sections. So instead I had to work my way through the section one slice at a time. I started by painting a thin dark blue line at the top of my section and then continued my pattern all the way down the rest of the section. I lay each new section I take down flat and paint it against the previous section. I start my new slices again with dark blue, and with each new slice I add to my block, the line gradually gets thicker. And once I reach the point that it's about 1/2 inch thick, I then start my next color in the pattern, which for this section is black. And then from here, I kept following those steps, blocking in my pattern until the entire section was complete. And because everything is getting pulled back into one single point towards the back of the head, that's actually going to create a back to front movement. So you guys are going to see as my model turns her head sideways a little bit later, you'll be able to see kind of a diagonal line going through this part of the color. So I finished by rinsing Draven's hair out with ice cold water to help prevent any bleeding. I love this hair down straight, but I really, really love the way this hair looks when it moves. You know, hair is not a static object, so I love creating colors that have a lot of personality and transform as they move. And as you can see, when the top is pulled back, you get that really strong, almost pixelated kind of appearance. And having the hidden panels on the side and the back lend themselves to all kinds of unique styling. For this, I decided to pull the dark section in between the colored panels back with braids. I pulled the top back into a ponytail, and it gave this really cool kind of like mohawky, I don't know, festival vibe sort of look. So here's the finished color and style on Draven's hair. I really, really love how this came out. It's definitely one of my favorite colors that I've ever done. And you know, it was a fun challenge to use so many techniques for one single head of hair. And it gave a truly one-of-a-kind look to this color. Okay, so I know what you guys might be thinking here, but Caitlin, what do you do when that color fades out? How do you retouch it? Well, the answer is actually quite simple. You do whatever the hell you want. Seriously. So because I did this color quite a while ago, I'm able to show you exactly what happened next to Draven's hair. Here's a shot of what Draven's hair faded into after 10 washes. Once the color was significantly faded out, Draven put a beautiful teal color over those bleached areas in her hair. And then just recently, Draven decided to cut her hair and she added bangs to her hair. And that colored band in her hair actually fell perfectly along her fringe because it was done down the center of her head. It gave this really cool kind of shine line appearance all the way around her head. And she ended up putting a really dark blue over all of that, which I thought looked super cool. So this is what Draven's hair looks like right now. So this is what I love about Creative Color, you guys. The sky really is the limit with it. It doesn't matter if you have bands. It doesn't matter if you can't get the hair 100% platinum. If you think creatively and remember the rules of hair, about the underlying pigment in the hair, as well as your knowledge of the color wheel, you can create anything that you can imagine. You can create an amazing head of color on any head of hair, no matter what condition their hair is coming in with, no matter what products they have on their hair, if they've been dyeing their hair black. There are things that you can do to think outside the box and give them something really cool without destroying their hair. So that's it for today's tutorial, but before I go, in my last video, I asked you guys to help me name my holographic hair wig, and there were some really great suggestions. I actually had a few favorites, but I'm gonna have to hand it to the Princess Morbid. She was the first one who suggested Christine as the name of the wig. And you know, I kind of agree. I think that it's only appropriate that the hollow hair be named after the Hollow Queen on YouTube herself, Simply Nailogical, aka Christine, even if it's not actually hollow. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'm hoping to have a new one up next week. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and please leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought about this kind of like alternative hair color. Let me know if you thought that it was useful, if you thought these ideas were cool, or if you have any questions. I always try to answer as many questions as I can get to, so definitely don't be afraid to drop a comment down below. This is the channel for the wildest and craziest hair color on the planet, so please subscribe if you really like weird hair. I do a ton of really weird hair. And remember guys, hair completes the look. See you later, rainbow heads.